sometimes have quite a hard time trying to connect like subjects. Like, okay, but we have already done it with science, so it's the same. The names don't change.
Right, right, but they can't make the connection.
You can learn the same in any language.
Yes.
Right. So they find it difficult to make the connection.
Yes.
Right? Is that the case for any of you? You still don't have experience. Oh, you haven't talked yet. Right. And in your case?
Yes, it happens.
What happens? Which happens most?
There is a right way to learn, and the teacher knows it. It's like they think that the teacher is always right, and if the teacher says we'll do it, then we.
Right.
They used to think.
Right. Does it happen? Yes.
I think that teaching children and teaching adults is totally different, because children do not mind many things. They don't ask why continuously. They need the guide. I mean, teacher, I don't understand that word, and they think that this word is the key word, and many times it's not. But adults are totally different. They need you more than children, because they want to know everything. They copy every little thing you write on the whiteboard. They are 100% of the time totally aware of what you are saying. And if you say, don't copy, please, because they need to copy every little thing. How do you spell that you said and I couldn't understand? And perhaps something that you said because you are speaking.
Yes, just a comment.
They worry about every little aspect.
Right.
They need that. No?
Right.
First, because they are not obliged to go to classes.
Oh.
They go because they want to. And children many times are forced to go because parents, but I'm not in a school, we are in a private institute, so it's different.
Yes.
When children go to school, naturally they have classes, but when they go to a private institute, it's different because they are sent or forced by parents many times to attend the classes.
Right.
And that is different. If they are immersed in a school,
yes, they haven't got much of a
they
choice, you mean. Yeah.
When they attend a private place,
Yeah.
parents are taking them to the class because they want them to study. And adults go because they want. So it's totally different.
Yeah.
You know, what
Would other people agree?
Yes, yes.
Any comments? Does that make you suffer in any way?
That is quite attached to like link with motivation, like the motivation that they have, because maybe I studied at a private institute, as she said, and I loved English.
Well,
right.
There's cases and cases.
But it's linked, I think, that mainly with motivation, like the motivation that you have when you go.
Uh-huh. Yes.
I mean, I don't teach anymore, but I used to teach in language institutes a lot, and I think even though adults want to go, they expect what a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, used to call intravenous English. So they expect that just by going and sitting there, maybe not you because you're motivated, but a lot of adults they go and they expect the teacher to just get the English automatically, and then they don't like it when they have to do a bit of work. I don't know if that's been your experience, but a lot of my students were that way.
Sometimes they get frustrated when it's not immediate.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's not immediate, the learning, in adults, they get frustrated sometimes. So it's our job.
What is it? How do you mean immediate?
Now, like in 1 week or something like that, right? Or when they have to work at home a lot, especially in intensive courses, right? Which they have to come to class 5 hours a week, and apart from that, study at home. And then, no, I don't have time, but I want to know. Right, so what do we do? It's not a pill that you give them.
It's intravenous, as Dara says.
Sometimes they come to class with false expectations, and this is our job as teachers to talk about that in class.
Right.
It's acquiring and not learning. Yes.
Would other people agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes. And do you feel that that it's difficult to get students to, you know, think for themselves, let's say, or not be so teacher. I mean, several of you said that most, what was it, that most students think the teacher is the one who knows, right? I found a place. There's the right way to learn and the teacher knows it. How many of you would say that? Now, why do we go into red, for God's sake? Never mind, we'll go back to blue. There's a right way to learn, and the teacher knows it. What does that? How many of you would say that? That you have that problem?
No.
Only Dara?
What? There's a right way to learn.
Yes.
That students think this is this.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay, yeah. Students sometimes, adult students.
It depends.
But how many of you would agree with that? That students normally go to class with that kind of attitude?
50-50.
Yeah.
What?
50-50. 50-50.
You're not being very
Maybe at lower level.
conversant.
Yes, lower level.
Lower level.
Well, sometimes you have adults who tell you how they need to be taught. Or they tell you how you should teach them.
Right.
And sometimes they are wrong about the method. I had that one that wanted me to correct every single little thing he was saying. I write notes and then tell me my mistakes. This is the method.
Right. Now, you know what that is called? Students' assumptions.
Yeah.
But they normally come, and that is very interesting, from students' experience or previous experience of learning. For example, I did an experiment in Mexico before I was going to publish a book, so I did an experiment, and I gave about 1,500 students from all over Mexico, you know, from the southeast and Tabasco to Guadalajara, etc., a questionnaire. And I asked them which were their favorite activities in class. And they, excuse me, I don't know whether I'm hot or I'm cold, so but the thing is that, you know, the options I wrote, I didn't bring it here today because it was going to be, you know, too much paper. But there was a section where the options were working with your partner, listening to the teacher, listening to songs, playing games, doing grammar exercises, making vocabulary lists, I can't remember, about 8 or 9. Which do you think? Unfortunately, I didn't bring it today, I could have brought it. Because I collected those questionnaires and I sent them to Heinemann, who I was working for then, and I asked them to process, you know, what you do is a sampling, right? Not the 1,500, but we chose 500 out of the 1,500.